Little girl overheard the guards speaking Italian, and saved the rich CEO. One morning, Alexander Carter, the richest CEO in New York, walks into his headquarters. He is tall, confident, and surrounded by a wall of security. His life is full of risk. Business rivals, jealous competitors, even enemies he doesn't know about. But today something unexpected happens. In the lobby, a 7-year-old girl named Emily waits with her mother. She holds a worn-out stuffed bunny, her favorite toy. Her father works upstairs, so every now and then Emily comes along before school. She is quiet, but her mind is sharp. She notices things adults ignore. 2 guards step away from the crowd. They wear the same black suits as Carter's men, but their eyes are restless. They lower their voices, speaking in Italian. They assume no one around can understand. Emily hears every word. Her grandmother from Naples taught her the language when she was very young. She listens carefully. Dopo la riunione, senza guardie lui è vulnerabile. After the meeting without guards, he will be vulnerable. Emily stiffens. Her heart beats faster. They are talking about him. The man everyone looks at with awe. The man walking through the lobby right now, Alexander Carter. The men smirk at each other, certain their secret is safe. But the secret has already landed in the ears of a child. Emily looks at her mother, who is busy on her phone. No one else pays attention. The CEO steps forward, shaking hands with executives, moving toward the elevator. Emily knows she has only a few seconds to decide. Stay silent or speak up. She clutches her bunny tighter. Her legs tremble, but she pushes through the fear. She steps into Carter's path and tugs at his sleeve. His guards instantly react, moving to block her. But Alexander raises his hand, signaling them to stop. He looks down, surprised. What is it? Emily's voice shakes, but she forces the words out. Sir, they want to hurt you. Those men. They said it in Italian. I heard them. The entire lobby freezes. People stop walking. The accused guards tense, their eyes sharp with sudden panic. Alexander studies Emily's face. You understood them? Yes. She whispers. They said after your meeting no guards, you'll be alone. His expression hardens. He doesn't question her further. He turns to his chief of security. Search them. Now. The order is immediate. Trained agents seize the men. One resists, but is slammed against the wall. A second tries to run but is tackled to the floor. From under their jackets, weapons appear, silenced pistols, knives. Gas ripple through the lobby. Employees scatter, the building alarms blare. The truth is undeniable. They weren't real guards, they were assassins. Carter's security team drags them away, barking into radios. The situation turns chaotic. But the billionaire's attention returns to the small girl still standing in front of him. She doesn't move. She looks scared but steady. Alexander kneels, his voice low but intense. You just saved my life. Emily hugs her bunny closer. I didn't want you to get hurt. For years, Alexander Carter has lived in a world of money, power, and enemies. Gratitude has been rare. But right now in front of everyone, he feels something different. Respect. For the courage of a little girl who spoke when no one else could. The day has only begun, but everything has already changed. 2. The lobby is frozen. Guards drag the captured men away, but Alexander Carter's eyes remain on Emily. The child who just tugged his sleeve has exposed an assassination plot no one else saw. He stands, commanding, lock this building, nobody in or out. Security obeys instantly. Elevators halt, side doors seal. Chaos spreads among employees. But Alexander doesn't look away from Emily. What's your name? He asks. Emily, she says softly, clutching her bunny. You understood them in Italian. She nods. They said after your meeting, without guards you'd be alone. Alexander signals to his chief of security. Interrogate the imposters. Find out who sent them. Mason leaves at once. Alexander turns back to Emily and her mother. Come with me. It isn't safe here. They hesitate, but his tone leaves no room for argument. Guards escort them to the private elevator. Inside, Alexander studies Emily. You realized what they were planning. That took courage. Emily lowers her voice. I didn't want you to get hurt. The elevator doors open to the top floor. His office is sealed, windows bulletproof, guards posted. He gestures to chairs. Sit, you're safe here. Moments later Mason returns, face tense. They're professionals. Connected to a syndicate out of Milan. Their orders were clear. Strike during your board meeting today. Alexander's jaw tightens. Who gave the order? They refuse to speak, Mason answers. Emily suddenly looks up. One of them said more. Il capo non sarà soddisfatto se falliamo. Mason frowns. She's fluent. Alexander translates for the others. The boss won't be satisfied if we fail. He exhales slowly. So someone higher is pulling the strings. The room falls silent. Alexander looks at Emily again. This time not as a child but as the only person who pierced the plot. You saved my life, Emily. That means I owe you protection. Nothing will happen to you while I breathe, she whispers, even if more come. Especially then, he replies firmly. Outside, alarms fade. But inside, a new reality sets in. Alexander Carter's enemies are closer than ever. And standing at his side now is a little girl who overheard the truth, and changed everything. Alexander Carter stands at the window of his office, staring at the skyline. His reflection glares back at him, powerful, wealthy, yet suddenly fragile. Behind him, Emily sits on a chair, clutching her bunny, her mother beside her, tense and silent. Mason returns with new information. His voice is sharp. The assassins won't talk. They're trained, disciplined. But their gear is high-grade, imported. Someone invested heavily in this. Alexander turns. Then we push harder. Whoever sent them thinks I'm vulnerable. That ends today. Emily tilts her head. They said after the meeting. That means they already knew your schedule. Mason looks at her in surprise. She's right, sir. They had inside knowledge. Alexander's eyes narrow. So there's a leak in my company. He paces slowly, his voice cold. I want every employee screened, no exceptions. Mason nods and leaves to organize the sweep. The office quiets again. Alexander studies Emily. You listen differently than most people. How old are you? 7, she answers. He almost smiles. 7, and sharper than half the people I pay to protect me. Her mother interrupts, nervous. Mr. Carter, with respect, Emily is just a child. Please, don't put more weight on her shoulders. Alexander softens his tone. You're right. She shouldn't be involved. But without her, I'd already be dead. That's not something I can ignore. The intercom buzzes. Mason's voice comes through. Sir, we've detected suspicious movement outside. 2 vehicles circling the block, tinted windows. Same European plates as the syndicate. Alexander reacts instantly. Double perimeter security. Bring the vehicles in. No one leaves alive if they resist. The order is executed. Minutes later. Gunfire echoes faintly from the streets below. Emily jumps at the sound. Her mother holds her tight, but Alexander crouches near her. Don't be afraid. That's my men protecting us. She nods slowly, trusting his calm. Mason storms back in, blood on his sleeve but not his own. They tried to escape. We took one alive. Bring him here, Alexander commands. 2 guards drag in a man, tied and furious. His accent is thick Italian. His eyes are filled with hate. Alexander steps forward. You came across an ocean to kill me. Who gave the order? The man spits at the floor. You'll be dead before you know his name. Alexander's gaze sharpens. Then I'll let her tell me. He looks at Emily. The room stiffens. Emily blinks. Confused. Me? Alexander nods. He doesn't realize you understand his language. He'll slip if he thinks no one does. Mason frowns. Sir? She's a child. This is dangerous. Alexander shakes his head. She won't be touched. She only needs to listen. The guards shove the prisoner into a chair. He mutters curses in Italian, thinking no one else understands. Emily listens carefully. L'ordine vien dall'alto, il capo non faller 2 volte la prossima volta sar la fine. Ah. The order comes from above, the boss will not fail twice. Next time will be the end. Emily's eyes widen. She looks at Alexander. He said the boss won't fail again. Next time will be the end. The prisoner jerks his head toward her, shocked. You understand. Alexander smiles coldly. Yes, she does. And now I know more than you wanted me to. He signals to the guards. Take him to the holding cell. Keep him alive. He'll be more useful breathing. The man is dragged out shouting threats. Silence settles again. Emily breathes heavily, clutching her bunny. Her mother shakes her head. Mr. Carter, this is too much. Emily can't keep being part of this. Alexander's voice softens. I'll keep her safe. You have my word. Emily looks at him. They'll come again. Won't they? Yes, he admits. But next time, we'll be ready. Mason returns once more. Grim. Sir, the vehicles had encrypted phones. One number keeps repeating. It's traced to Milan, connected to a man called Lorenzo Vital. Alexander freezes. The name hits hard. Vital. His fists tighten. I should have known. Mason nods. You've crossed paths before. Alexander's tone drops like steel. Years ago, in Europe, a deal gone wrong. He swore revenge. Looks like he's keeping his promise. Emily listens quietly. He's the boss. Alexander nods. Yes. And if he's moving against me now, it means he's ready to bring war. Mason leans closer. What's the move? Sir. Alexander's eyes burn with determination. We don't wait. If Vital wants a war, I'll strike first. But until then, he looks at Emily. We'll guard her as if she were me. Emily blinks. Why me? Alexander's tone is absolute. Because you are the only one who saw through his plan. That makes you his enemy now too. The weight of his words sinks into the room. Her mother gasps, covering her mouth. Emily doesn't cry, she just holds her bunny tighter. Alexander Carter, billionaire and target of an international syndicate, has a new ally. Not a soldier, not a spy. A little girl who overheard the truth. And in that moment he decides she will not face this danger alone. The storm has only begun. Night falls over New York. But Carter Global Headquarters glows like a fortress. Extra guards patrol every corner, their weapons ready. Inside the top floor, Alexander Carter doesn't rest. He sits at a long glass table, Emily and her mother nearby, Mason standing at his side. A digital screen shows dossiers, intercepted calls, maps. The name Lorenzo Vital flashes across the display. Alexander speaks with cold precision. Vital was once a businessman. Then he turned syndicate boss, ruthless. Strategic. He doesn't send men to scare, he sends men to finish. Mason nods grimly. And he won't stop until you're dead. Emily hugs her bunny. Listening carefully. Her small voice cuts the silence. Then why don't you stop him first? Alexander looks at her, surprised by her bluntness. Mason raises a brow. The girl isn't just brave, she's thinking like a strategist. She's right. Mason admits. Waiting makes us targets. If Vital has contacts inside this building, we're already compromised. Alexander's jaw tightens. We'll find them. Tonight. He presses a button. Two trusted operatives enter, dragging a trembling employee, a mid-level manager from Carter's finance department. His badge dangles from his shirt. Alexander's eyes lock on him. You had access to my schedule. You knew the board meeting time. You leaked it, didn't you? The man stammers, shaking his head. No sir. I swear I didn't. Alexander slams his fist on the table. The sound makes Emily flinch, but she doesn't look away. You sold me out. Alexander growls. And now you're going to tell me who you spoke to. The man collapses into the chair, pale. They called me from Milan. Offered money. Said if I gave them one detail, it would be enough. I didn't think. You didn't think. Alexander cuts him off. Your mistake nearly got me killed. And her. He points at Emily. The man's eyes widen as he sees the little girl. A child. Alexander leans closer, voice low and dangerous. She is the reason I'm alive. And the reason you're still breathing is because she's watching. Mason signals the guards, who drag the traitor away. Alexander breathes out slowly, controlling his fury. Emily whispers, he was scared. But the bad men are scarier. Alexander nods. Exactly. Vital uses fear as his weapon. But fear cuts both ways. The intercom buzzes. Mason answers, then turns back, tense. Sir, we have confirmation. Vital himself landed in New York 2 hours ago. Alexander straightens instantly. The game has changed. So he came here to watch the job done. That means he won't stop. Emily looks up at him. Then he'll come for you himself. The room falls silent at her words. Mason finally speaks. She might be right. Vital's pride won't let him retreat. If his assassins failed, he'll take control personally. Alexander thinks quickly. If he's here, he'll make a move soon. He'll want to strike while we're unsettled. He turns to Emily and her mother. You'll be moved tonight to a safe house. No one will know the location except me and Mason. Her mother nods quickly, relief flooding her face. But Emily frowns. What about you? Alexander gives her a small, grim smile. I'll draw him out. That's how we end this. Emily shakes her head. You can't go alone. A Mason chuckles quietly. She talks to you like she's your partner. Alexander doesn't laugh. He looks at Emily seriously. Maybe she is. She listens where others don't. Before more can be said, a loud crash echoes through the building. Lights flicker. The security feed on the screen shows armed men breaching the side entrance with explosives. Mason curses.
They're already here.
Alarms blare. Guards scramble. Alexander pulls Emily and her mother behind the reinforced desk. He draws a pistol from a hidden drawer. Stay down, he orders. Emily clutches her bunny, eyes wide but steady. She whispers, it's them. Vital sent more. Gunfire erupts in the hallways. Mason shouts into his comms, rallying defenses. Shadows move on the cameras, men in black masked, advancing floor by floor. Alexander's voice is steel. They want me alive for Vital. But they won't touch you. Emily looks at him, then at the door rattling under pressure. Her small hand tightens around her bunny. I'm not afraid. Alexander meets her gaze. For the first time, he sees not just a child, but courage that even his most hardened men sometimes lack. The office shakes as explosives blast the outer corridor. Smoke seeps under the door. Mason raises his rifle. Guards form a line. Alexander whispers one last time to Emily, whatever happens, remember. You saved me once. And you may have to save me again. The door bursts open. Armed men flood in. The war with Lorenzo Vital has begun. The office door explodes inward, smoke and splinters filling the air. Masked men storm through with rifles raised. Alexander Carter doesn't hesitate, he fires twice. 2 attackers drop instantly. Mason and his guards unleash controlled bursts, forcing the intruders back. Emily clutches her bunny under the desk, her mother shielding her, both trembling yet silent. Hold the line, Mason shouts. Bullets crack against the reinforced walls. Alexander crouches beside the desk. His voice to Emily is calm, steady. Stay low. Don't move until I say. She nods, eyes wide but unblinking. Another wave pushes in. Flashbangs detonate. White light blinds half the guards. The masked men surge forward, ruthless, disciplined. Alexander empties his magazine, grabs another. His expression never changes. Cold, controlled rage. One intruder shouts in Italian, Non ucciderlo! Vettel lo vul vivo? Don't kill him! Vittel wants him alive! Emily hears it. She tugs her mother's sleeve. They said they can't kill him. Vital wants him alive. Alexander catches her words. His eyes sharpen. Good. That gives us an advantage. He signals Mason. They need me breathing. Use that. Push them hard. They won't risk stray shots. Mason grins fiercely, understanding. He orders his men forward. Drive them back. The defense stiffens. Gunfire roars. Masked attackers falter, caught between orders and survival. 2 more fall. And the rest retreat toward the hallway, dragging their wounded. Smoke clears slightly. The office reeks of gunpowder. Emily peers out. They'll come again. Alexander nods. Yes, with more. Mason wipes blood from his forehead. Sir, we can't hold this floor forever. They'll breach from another angle. Alexander thinks quickly. Shield the elevators. Lock down stairwells. Force them into choke points. Mason relays the commands. Guards scramble, then silence. The kind that feels heavier than noise. Alexander reloads. They're regrouping. Suddenly, the building's PA system crackles alive. A deep, accented voice echoes through every corridor. Smooth, controlled, confident. Alexander Carter. It says. Finally, we meet again. Did you think New York would keep you safe from me? Alexander freezes. He knows that voice. Vital. He mutters. Emily looks up. That's him. Alexander nods grimly. That's him. The voice continues. You stole years from me. You cost me deals, respect, power. Tonight, I take everything back. You, your empire, even the child you're hiding. Emily's mother gasps, clutching her tighter. Alexander's fury flashes. He shouts back toward the intercom. She has nothing to do with this. Vital's laugh booms through the speakers. Oh, but she does. She saw what was not meant to be heard. That makes her mine. Emily presses her face into her mother's shoulder, whispering. He knows about me. Alexander crouches beside her. Listen to me. He'll never touch you. Do you believe that? Her eyes meet his. She nods. Yes. A gunfire erupts again, closer now. Mason glances at the cameras. He's moving floor by floor. Methodical. He wants to corner you himself. Alexander's voice turns steel. Then we flip the game. If he wants me, he'll come here. And when he does, we end him. Emily swallows, then says softly, he thinks he's the hunter. But he's wrong. Alexander almost smiles at her courage. Exactly. The PA crackles again, Vidal's tone darker now. Enjoy your last minutes, Carter. When I arrive, I'll take her first so you understand what loss feels like. The line cuts. Mason growls. He's trying to break you. Alexander chambers around. His voice is ice. No, he just signed his death warrant. The building shudders. Explosives hitting lower levels. The siege tightens. Guards brace. Mason's men check corners, reload, whisper quick prayers. Emily clutches her bunny, whispering to herself, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Alexander kneels beside her again, steady and sure. Fear is what he wants. But courage is what we give him instead. Tonight, Emily, we stand. The hallway explodes once more. Vital's soldiers charge for the final assault. The battle for the top floor has begun. The top floor shakes with explosions. Smoke seeps under the blasted door. Vital's men surge forward, relentless, masked, their rifles spitting fire. Alexander Carter leads from the front, pistol flashing, each shot precise. Mason covers his flank, barking orders, his rifle dropping enemies one by one. Guards fight like a wall, buying precious seconds. Emily and her mother crouch behind the reinforced desk. The girl squeezes her bunny, whispering to herself. Her eyes don't leave Alexander. A grenade clatters across the floor. Mason reacts instantly, kicking it back toward the attackers. The explosion rocks the hallway. Screams follow. The momentum shifts. Alexander seizes it. Push now, he yells. The guards surge forward, bullets shredding through smoke. Intruders fall. Retreating again. Silence follows, tense heavy. Then footsteps, slow measured. One man walking through the smoke. The guards freeze. Mason grips his rifle tighter. Alexander lowers his weapon, his expression turning cold and sharp. Lorenzo Vital steps into the light. No mask, no helmet, just a tailored black suit. His silver hair slicked back, his eyes burning with arrogance. He doesn't raise a weapon. He doesn't need to. Alexander Carter, Vital says. His voice deep and smooth. At last, the room chills. Emily feels it, clutching her mother's hand. Alexander's pistol stays aimed unwavering. Vital. Should have stayed in Milan. Vital smirks. Milan is mine. New York will be mine. And tonight so will your life. Mason steps forward, rifle trained. One order, sir, and I'll put him down. Vital raises a hand casually. Do it, and my men flood this building with fire. You'll all burn before you leave. From the shadows, more masked soldiers emerge, rifles glinting. They circle, disciplined, waiting. Alexander doesn't flinch. You came all this way to make threats. Vital's smile sharpens. His eyes shift to Emily. Not threats. Promises. Her mother pulls her closer. Stay away from her. Vital tilts his head. So this is the child who ruined my operation. Remarkable. Small ears, sharp mind. A pity she won't live long enough to use it. Alexander's tone turns lethal. You touch her, and I end you. Vital chuckles. There is the Alexander I remember. Ruthless, protective, predictable. You build empires, but you cannot guard your heart. That makes you weak. Alexander steps forward, rage contained like a blade. Weak. You had to send armies just to reach me. You're standing here now because you think I'll surrender. You're wrong. Vital's smirk fades, replaced by steel. Then fight me. No guns, no guards, just you and me. Let her watch which man truly survives. The room falls silent. Mason growls, sir, don't. But Alexander lowers his pistol slowly. Clear the room. Mason snaps his head toward him. What? I said clear it. Alexander repeats, eyes locked on Vital. This ends tonight. The Mason hesitates, then signals the guards. Reluctantly, they retreat to the edges, weapons ready but lowered. Vital removes his jacket, tossing it aside. His movements are smooth, practiced. It will be an honor to finish what I started years ago. Alexander cracks his knuckles, expression calm. This time no deals. Just you and me. They circle each other. The tension is unbearable. Emily grips her bunny so tight it seems strained. Vital strikes first, fast, brutal. A heavy punch aimed for Alexander's jaw. Alexander blocks, counters with a sharp elbow. Vital staggers, then laughs. Still quick, Vital says. But slower than before. Alexander doesn't answer. He lunges, slamming Vital against the desk. Papers scatter. Emily squeals, covering her ears. Vital shoves back, headbutts, then swings hard into Alexander's ribs. Pain flashes across Alexander's face, but he absorbs it, retaliating with a brutal knee strike. The fight is savage, hand to hand, bone against bone. No finesse, only survival. Vital grabs Alexander by the throat, squeezing. Eyes burning. I will kill you, and then the girl. Emily shouts no, her voice cracks the air. The distraction is enough. Alexander twists free. Slams Vital's arm, and drives him across the table. It shatters under their weight. Vital roars in pain, but his fury keeps him standing. Blood trickles from his mouth. He spits, grinning. Good. Now I remember why I hated you. Alexander breathes hard, fists raised. And I remember why you'll never win. They clash again, fists flying, every blow shaking the office. Mason stands ready, torn between jumping in and respecting Alexander's command. Emily's small voice cuts through the chaos. Mr. Carter. Don't let him breathe, he's waiting for a chance. Alexander hears her. His eyes lock on Vital's pattern. He sees it now, the pauses, the hesitation. Vital lunges for a killing strike. Alexander sidesteps, hooks his arm, and drives a crushing punch into his throat. Vital gasps, collapsing to his knees. Alexander stands over him, chest heaving. He presses his boot on Vital's chest, pistol drawn once more. Vital coughs, blood staining his lips. Do it. Prove you're just like me. The room holds its breath. Emily whispers. Don't let him get up. Alexander's finger tightens on the trigger. His eyes burn with fury, but his voice is steady. You're wrong, Vital. I'm nothing like you. The shot echoes. Vital falls, silent. The room freezes. Then Mason exhales, shoulders dropping. Emily peeks out, whispering, it's over. Alexander lowers his pistol. His voice is low, final. For him, yes. But his men won't stop. This war just began. Emily hugs her bunny tight, her eyes never leaving Alexander. For the first time, she sees not just a powerful CEO, but the man who chose to fight for her. And she knows deep inside she saved him once. She may have to save him again. Vital's body lies on the shattered glass table, blood pooling beneath him. The smoke of battle still hangs heavy in the air. Guards secure the room, dragging away the last unconscious mercenaries. Alexander Carter stands tall, chest heaving, pistol still warm. Mason checks corners, barking orders. Emily clutches her bunny, staring at Vital's lifeless form. Is it over? She whispers. Alexander kneels beside her, his voice steady but heavy. For him, yes. But his men won't vanish overnight. They'll want revenge. This was only the head of the snake. A Mason interrupts, holding a tablet. Sir, the FBI is moving in. They intercepted chatter about tonight's attack. They're on their way here. Alexander nods. Good. Let them clean up the rest. Our part is done. Emily's mother exhales in relief, tears brimming. She hugs her daughter tightly. It's finished, sweetheart. It's finished. But Emily shakes her head. No, it's not finished until you're safe. She looks straight at Alexander. The room quiets. Even Mason watches. Alexander meets her gaze, struck by the weight in her small voice. For all his power, his armies, his wealth. It was this little girl who saw what others missed. Who warned him, who gave him the edge. He lowers himself to her level, eye to eye. Emily, you saved my life. Twice. I owe you everything. She hugs her bunny and says softly, you just have to stay alive. That's enough. Mason smirks. She's the toughest ally you've got, sir. Sirens wail outside. FBI agents flood the building, storming through the halls. Agents confirm the syndicate has been dismantled. The war is over. Vital's men are cuffed, dragged away. His empire dies with him. Alexander walks Emily and her mother to the waiting convoy. Flashing lights bounce across his face. Reporters shout questions, but security keeps them away. Emily pauses at the door of the armored SUV. She looks up at him one last time. Will I see you again? Alexander bends down, his voice softer than ever. You'll always be safe now. That's my promise. And if you ever need me, I'll be there. Emily smiles faintly, then climbs inside with her mother. The door shuts. The vehicle pulls away into the night. Alexander watches it disappear, the weight of everything settling on his shoulders. For the first time in years, he feels something strange, not fear, not rage, but gratitude, for a little girl who overheard a secret, and in doing so saved him. Mason steps beside him. What now? Sir. Alexander exhales, eyes still on the fading taillights. No, we rebuild, stronger than ever, and we never forget who saved us when no one else could. The night quiets. The war is finished. The empire survives, because one child listened. Two, and that, my friends, was the incredible story of how a little girl overheard the guards speaking Italian, and saved the rich CEO. If you enjoyed this thriller, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for giving your precious time. Stay tuned for more amazing stories, and until next time, stay safe, stay curious.